Welcome to the City of Indian Rocks Beach Special City Commission meeting. This is Wednesday, September 24th, 2025. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please stand for a few moments of silence. Thank you. Lauren, would you do the roll call, please?
Commissioner King?
Here.
Commissioner Bigelow?
Here.
Vice Mayor Commissioner Wilson?
Present.
Mayor Commissioner Hausberg?
Here.
Commissioner Bond?
Thank you. We're going to move on to the public comments. This is a 3-minute time limit per speaker. Any member of the audience may come forward, give their name and address, and state any comment or concern they may have regarding any matter over which the City Commission has control, excluding agenda items. All statements made to the City Commission shall be made to the City Commission as a whole, not directed to any individual City Commission member, and no personal, impertinent, or slanderous remarks shall be permitted. No speaker shall be interrupted, and no debate shall occur between the speaker and the City Commission. As we don't have any public, I'm closing the public comment. We'll move on to item 2, the budget public hearings.
Thank you, Mayor. Matthew Maggard, City Attorney. First item is business item 2A, ordinance number 2025-03, second reading, adopting the final levying of the ad valorem taxes for the City of Indian Rocks Beach, Pinellas County, Florida, fiscal year 2025-2026, providing for notification of requisite government authorities and providing for an effective date. This is a public hearing.
So are we just going to make a motion and then approve it? We get to do a roll call?
Yeah, sorry. I'm not gonna probably provide a lot.
I
Matt's gonna need to, I believe, there's a little bit more that has to go into the record
Okay.
in terms of rollback rate. And by how much percent.
just had you open the public hearing portion.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
For the discussion.
That's it, Mayor. I don't have anything to add tonight. This is our final step for the
Right.
village, to get us across the finish line, be compliant with the State Department of Revenue, and, I'll let Matt handle it, he'll finish it off, unless you guys have questions for him, I'd be glad to answer.
So you'd like me to open the public hearing?
Yes, please.
Okay. I am opening the public hearing.
So the proposed millage rate of 1.7300 brings in a total estimated tax collection of $3,574,070 based on 97% collection rate for the fiscal year 2025-26. A mill rate of 1.7300 is 2.80% higher than the rollback rate of 1.6829. Proposed mill rate of 1.700 remains one of the lowest in Pinellas County, which range from 0.5345 to 6.5. Just ask that, if Dan has anything else to add or anybody wants to speak to it, see it as well.
I do not have anything to add, so I would, just say that staff recommends approval of, 1.7300 mills, for fiscal year 2025-26.
Does the commission have any questions?
Nope.
Okay. Then I guess we're ready to move on to closing the public hearing.
Yes.
I would like to close the public hearing.
Any discussion or motions?
Please, Olivia.
I make a motion that we accept ordinance number 2025-03, the second reading of the ad valorem tax rate.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Item B, please.
Yes, 2B is the second reading of ordinance number 2025-04, ordinance of the City of Indian Rocks Beach, Pinellas County, Florida, adopting a budget for fiscal year 2025/26, making appropriations and operating expenditures for fiscal year 2025/26, and providing for notification of requisite government authorities and providing for an effective date. This is a public hearing. So that's, we open the public hearing.
I will open the public hearing. Dan, you have anything to add?
No, again, Mayor, I'm not gonna elaborate too much. This is, again, the final reading or second reading of the actual budget ordinance. It's the final step. As in past workshops and the first reading, as your finance director and your acting city manager, I strongly recommend approval of this budget as presented by your former city manager. I think it's conservative, helps put money back into reserves that were lost through the storm, provides raises for employees, and accounts conservatively for all the necessary expenditures to maintain operations of the city. So staff recommends, and I'd be glad to answer any questions.
Does the commission have any questions?
No.
Seeing nobody present, I ask you to close the public hearing.
I will close the public hearing, and I'm looking for a motion.
I will make a motion that we accept ordinance number 2025-04, the second reading of our budget for fiscal year 2025-2026.
I accept.
Okay, John, a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Let's move on to other legislative matters.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This, next item I have is business item 3. It is first reading of ordinance, or resolution number 2025-11. A resolution of the City of Indian Rocks Beach, Florida, enumerating the different types of residential and commercial solid waste collection methods, amending the schedule of fees for the collection and disposal of garbage, trash, and solid waste in the City of Indian Rocks Beach pursuant to Chapter 50, Solid Waste, Article 2, Collection and Disposal, Division 3, Fees and Charges, Section 50-91, fee schedule, and providing for an effective date.
I will open the public hearing. Dan, do you have anything to add to this?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. For this one, the reason we're only hearing about this now, even though it is, the 5% rate increase that's tied to the budget we just approved, is a couple of years ago, we were able to rearrange how we legislatively did things, and we can now properly and officially raise rates through resolution. I think we started that last year. So again, that's why this wasn't on the first time around. It's a one-time reading. This is specifically tied to the city's only enterprise fund, solid waste. It represents a 5% increase for both commercial and residential. And you gotta remember, when we talk Indian Rocks Beach, we're about 50% residential and 50% commercial. Residential meaning a can at the curb, commercial meaning a larger container. Majority of that is multi-unit dwelling. Some of it is actual commercial or business. 5% is the recommended amount. We've got an 8% tipping fee being given to us for Pinellas County where we take our garbage. We've got a 3% recycling increase for our contract recycling. We're providing 3% salary increases, and we've got insurance at about 5.8%. So 5% is a strong number I agree with. I think helps maintain this self-sufficient fund that's pay as you go and also covers the full cost of operations. So staff recommends the 5% solid waste approval. I'm glad to answer your questions if you have any.
Does the commission have any questions? Well, Dan, I have a question. Because we have some residents that never put their units back together, but they're still paying a disposal fee.
Sure.
How are are we putting out this notice to the residents and the commercial customers?
Well, we don't, other than the advertisement of this meeting and
Okay.
the resolution,
All right.
solid waste rates do not require what water and sewer does. And of course, we don't have water and sewer. So a little more formality with notification and inclusion.
The fees, not rates.
Fees, I'm sorry, fees. But the answer to your, go ahead, man.
I was gonna say, sorry. When you raise water rates, there's a big process. The fees associated with the supply of the water is a different thing. That's what we're dealing with here is fees for the collection, not necessarily the assessment of the disposal.
So, you know, the meeting itself, the resolution, public notice, but, you know, we bill bi-monthly through the county's billing. So our solid waste, as you all know, goes on the county billing. And yes, we've had more occurrence of the question, I have not lived in my house, why do I continue to have to pay for solid waste? Now, there were some folks through our ordinance provisions that were able to get out of solid waste, a demolition, you know, and that, so the 49 folks, for example, you know, we get a certificate of authorization from the county after demolition, we stopped billing for garbage, but our rates, and this goes back a long time, you can, you know, different solid waste organizations do it differently. Some is purely driven by the service provided, and the fee is charged to who's using the service. As a somewhat historical transient community where we had houses that were not full-time occupied, snowbirds, tourists, second homes, our ordinance has always been built on the premise that there's a base fee of using the service whether or not you're truly dragging a can out twice a week or not. And don't get me wrong, that's subject to review, and certainly, you know, you could go the other way. You know, would the rate change? Yeah, the rate would have to change for the people that were paying if you let people that weren't paying off, you know, to come back to the same revenue stream ultimately. So does that kind of answer the question?
I guess it does, so
Yeah.
is this like effective October 1 then?
Yeah, that's another good question. Even though we bill bi-monthly and the billing cycles are not straight on a calendar day, we work with the county and pay a little bit of fee on top of what we pay for them to put our solid waste bill on the water and sewer bill. We pay a little bit more to make it effective 10/1 per the resolution's effective date. So there'll be a transitional bill, if you will, where, you know, the old rate and the new rate for that 2 months on a little bit of the old amount, a little bit of the new amount. And, you know, just for clarification, you know, we put in the agenda memo to try and talk, we're talking going from $38.62 on a month, or if you double that, to $40.55. So, you know, this 5% represents a little bit less than about $1.75 per residential home per month. But, yeah, it'll get split, they won't really notice it unless they truly pull out the previous bill. And then, of course, the first bi-monthly bill that includes full 2 months will have the new rate included, so. But yeah, I've worked in places that bill just for service, and again, I've also worked for places that do it just like we do. And, you know, unfortunately, the last time we probably had a big surge of questions about I shouldn't have to pay for garbage was during the Great Recession when we had a lot of empty households where I worked before. Unfortunately, here for our city now, it's been, you know, I'm not in my house or it's unlivable. And, you know, obviously we work with folks within the ordinance, but the ordinance is pretty clear. You have to, you know, truly have an uninhabitable house and be able to declare that way.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Yes,
It has to be actually,
Declared that way, so.
yeah, it has to be demoed, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So,
has to be flattened.
yeah. And hopefully we'll, you know,
We'll pull out of this and get back, but don't get me wrong, we always have had, hey, you know, I bought a house, I only come twice a year, I shouldn't have to pay garbage. And, you know, we walk them through the ordinance and explain, well, you know, while I understand that, that's not the way the city's billing structure is set up, and the way we bill here is, you know, occupied or not, you know, a occupiable or a dwelling that, you know, that's just how we do it. And again, that keeps everybody's rates lower for full-time folks. You know, it's kind of like the old homestead versus non-homestead. It's not an equal, you know, you're better off on your property taxes if it's your primary resident than you are if you're paying, full rate. So garbage works to that way to some degree as well,
Okay,
for folks that aren't full-time here.
yes?
Was this relating to a certain property with a lot of little buildings on it? I mean, not relating to, but I mean, but.
Yeah, I was thinking about your neighbor, yeah.
Yeah, and I get that, maybe, because at this point, it is, I think, worth addressing. That's a unique circumstance for us.
Yes, it is.
And I think, and she's probably one of the only, if not the only properties in that position.
Right.
So I think that it might be worth looking again at how we're handling it, but, we can have that discussion later.
Okay, thank you, Jude.
Or we can have it now.
Thank you, Jude. I'd like to close the public hearing. And have the motion, please.
I make a motion that we accept resolution number 2025-11 with regards to waste collection and disposal for both commercial and residential properties within Indian Rock Beach.
Can I have a second, please?
Second.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Can I have a motion to adjourn, please?
I make a motion for adjournment.
Second. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned, 6:16.
Oh, wow.
See you guys soon.
Okay, see you, Jude.